Call the meeting to order. I mean, I can call it to order. Whether you're ready to record or not is completely different.
Recording in progress.
Okay. All right, so previous minutes. Everybody's had a chance to look over them. If there are no changes, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, previous minutes. Warrants are going around. Finances.
Four.
Don't fight over it.
Well, this doesn't really go finances for that.
Sure. Wherever you're comfortable. Just for the.
Just a mic. Just a.
I was off approximately $650 for property taxes, and I decided to take one more shot at trying to find it. In coming in this morning, though, Kathy, someone came in and a bill was paid twice by, one was CoreLogic. CoreLogic is their tax service, and they paid for multiple banks or lending institutions. It was paid through there. It was also paid through their mortgage company. Nothing was done with that. I searched and finally found the paperwork. It was paid twice, but nothing was done with it. So apparently we owe $7,200 on that one. And I decided to go through everything that I could, and there's some, I don't have the records I normally would, but I did go through with all the payments that people have made for the past year to make sure that they were all on their tax bills correctly. I went through and made sure that the math, if somebody made a partial payment, was correct. Found out that a payment of $1,800 in November of last year was not credited to someone's tax bill. So now we owe that back. So you're $8,000 off now.
So the 600 is not yet now 8,000. Okay.
Because now that we need to pay 7,200 there and 1,800, and then I had some other things that I had to change, so.
Okay.
Just wanted you to know.
And I mean, obviously you've gone through all the numbers and everything, so this is just.
Yeah, I just decided maybe I could find the 650
Okay.
somewhere, and that's what I found is the 1,800, and Kathy said something today to talk about the other. We did look, and we found it was paid twice, so
Okay.
that needs to be taken care of. I don't have anything else that I can look through that I know of. I can go down, I went down through all the individual receipts, I go down through the other ones again, but I've been through them a couple of times. Short of saying to the bank, we need all these deposits that we did, we need all the, see all the checks that went through. Short of doing that, and I don't know if the bank will be able to do that back to August, and I don't know if we should or what we should do. Then it would be sitting with the copies of the checks that the bank sends and checking people off when they want. And
Basic.
seeing, and whether I find it in the end, I'm not positive, but it might, if we could, you know.
Basically redoing tax season is what it would come down to.
Well, basically, if the bank could give me, I mean, you got deposits of $194,000. I mean, that's a lot of checks.
Right.
And, you know, it's gonna be a lot of checks. And if they give them to us, I don't know how much it'll cost to get them. But then we have to sit with the check, find the person, check it off a second time, make sure, you know, who paid what.
Is it not
So
balancing?
Terry, just to catch you up, we went from $600, which we discussed at the last meeting, we were off, to approximately
8,000.
8,000 due to overpayments and not
One was
filed.
not picked up.
Picked up.
One prepayment, somebody made payments early. One in November of last year was not picked up and credited to their tax bill this year. So I found that, and the other one is, it was paid twice, one by CoreLogic and one by Rocket Mortgage. It's just a, I don't know why they both paid, and I don't know why it wasn't taken care of. Took me a while to find it. It was in the top of the desk. the top part, and I finally found all the paperwork, but nothing was done with it. So we need to deal with that too, so now we're off like $8,000. I just wanted you to know.
So, and are you recommending to get the checks back from the bank? Do you think that's,
I haven't talked to the bank. I know that
Okay.
she did that once. There was, excuse me, when I started, Kathy said, well, she got copies of all these checks and it had to be a deposit. And so I said, well, let's not get rid of them yet. I don't know what I would do with them, but don't get rid of them yet. And actually that Rockland mortgage check was in that bunch. And we found it, the check number matched the paperwork. I finally found it, you know, so it was the exact check for that person, not somebody else. So I know what it is. So we've got that bunch, but I really don't know what it would cost to get those. And yeah, it's gonna be time consuming to sit there and check off every check. But it's $8,000. I'm letting you know, and you can decide what you wanna do, and I can check with the bank, but it's a lot of stuff and I don't know how much it would cost to do it. But
suggestions?
You gotta find it. We'll have to do what it takes. Can't just let it.
Right.
that's a lot of money. The 650, I wouldn't have wanted to bid off that much, but you know, 650, but 8,000.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I can do, but I can try and find out from the
Yeah,
bank.
and try, at least try it.
Yep. Yeah, look into it with the bank and see if, see what they'll do for us, charge us. Do you have all of our emails?
Kathy does.
Okay, just to kind of keep us in the loop.
Okay, you want me to let you know how much it'll cost before you go ahead and do it? Or just go
Or
ahead and,
Do you think that somebody didn't get credited there?
no, I'm
Is that what we're
thinking,
thinking?
if we have, if I'm off 8,000, I showed that there should be 116,000 delinquent. And what was turned over ended up being 108,000. So consequently, there's $8,000 we're missing, so I don't know if something got stamped paid that wasn't, or
Oh,
I don't know.
oh, we're talking
because-
short.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
And I've taken into consideration everything that I could find for, you know, changes, homestead declarations, overpayments that we returned already, and I took those and put them on here just so I could come out with a figure, and, yeah. I
Yeah.
can only do so much. I
Yeah,
don't
No,
have,
we're not,
Yeah, we know you're doing everything you can. It's,
yeah,
yeah,
bad situation.
we understand the situation that we're in.
it was just a matter of maybe I could find the other, and then when I came in, it's like, okay, we got more of a problem.
Yeah, that would be my suggestion at this time, is that we look into see what the bank would charge us to get that stuff back, see what we can get back. And just kind of keep us in the loop. I mean, if you spend 1,000 to get 8, it makes sense in my book, but I don't know how much it's gonna cost. I think that's where we start,
Yeah.
is see what it's gonna cost us, and
Okay.
She didn't fill out anything?
she has the deposits,
far
but
as
it's
the-
not.
As far as who paid?
No, but when she went to the bank, she didn't itemize by the check, or she just did?
No, the same thing I did, when you got 50, 60 checks, I didn't write them down, I didn't add machine tape. But I had adding machine tape that went with the deposit, and I had adding machine tape that was on top of the stubs, you know, the stubs on the bottom of your bills. I attached it to that, and I put the receipt number, so I always knew where to look when I
Right.
had a problem.
Right,
But I also had a list on my computer. When everybody made payments, I came in through and I put everybody in, and I'd sort them up to the top and then total them, and it totaled and matched my stubs and my bank deposit. I don't have that, so there's no way.
no check and balance.
Because it doesn't exist.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll get a hold of the bank and see if I can find out how much it would be. And I'll have to give them a list of all the dates and the deposits for and amounts, I guess,
Okay.
and see what I can do. But, sorry.
Well, it is what it is.
I've done everything I can do
Yeah,
to find
and
it.
Came into a bad
we appreciate
situation.
that. It's,
I was like,
Did the books get audited yet, or?
the taxes had not been audited yet, Jason didn't do them, and when Joy was in, she was working on road, and I had been going through, basically, in a sense, auditing what I had. And that's the only thing I hadn't done, is I hadn't gone back and forth between the bills and the amounts that they paid and made sure that everything balanced that way. That's the only thing I hadn't done. That's why I said today, I said, well, I'll try that.
But as far as the other books,
Everything else was audited.
okay.
Didn't Joy say that she assumed, like, she was gonna say that you basically audited?
Yeah, well, that's what she said. She says, well, you basically have audited them. I said, yes, but I'm not really an auditor, so if you want her to audit them in January, she probably can. She's gonna do the same thing that I've done, basically. Is look at the receipt book, find all the receipts, put those all in, and, yeah.
Well, if you get it straightened out, that's probably good enough, you know,
Yeah, I've been,
that can probably be sufficient for the audit.
no, I mean, there were 6 receipts that weren't even receipted in. There's 6 amounts that weren't even receipted in the receipt book.
Are mine paid?
I couldn't tell you, Terry.
Yeah, you owe $8,000, Terry. Terry, you owe $8,000.
Yes, I don't want to pay that twice.
I'll check with the bank and see what can be done.
Okay.
Just thinking about that, Kathy, if this turns out to be a bill that's stamped paid that wasn't paid or any of that, we would basically be required to waive those fees, yes? And delinquencies?
No, they should know they didn't pay their bill.
Yeah,
If they didn't pay it, if we went through and we didn't find if it was paid, we could request them to, we don't see that you paid your bill, would you please send us a copy of the cancel check and start there.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, we did that with one other one that was put on the delinquent list.
They got notice.
They got notice and they said, well, I paid that. And so Kathy had them send a copy of the cancel check and we took them off the delinquent list.
Okay.
But I would start with asking them, saying, show that as paid. But, like I said, we don't have to go through every one of them. We can get rid of them.
Excellent. Any others for the finance?
Any questions for me?
Did you leave the ARPA fund amount off?
I think it's on there this time, for just the library. You talking about that
No.
amount?
No. ARPA.
Yeah, there's a $2,000 amount that was credited to our account, that was a grant at the library. That's what I thought you were talking about.
No.
Yes.
Yep, got it. Thanks. We're all set.
I
Got
found it.
Okay.
Found it faster than you can say boo.
All right. No others in the finance world?
Good.
I think so.
How's
You're-
it going, Maria? Are you
Yeah, it's getting better.
settling in? Good.
Trying to do normal stuff now.
There you go.
Less recovery and more
Yes.
perfect. And so far, so smooth?
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear that.
Yes.
That's, you're waiting on the warrants. Are you processing those tonight or?
No, I don't have to. I just didn't know if you guys had any questions on those or I'll carry the one you have.
Let me see what the hell this was.
We'll let Terry finish looking at them before we go.
Did a truck break down again?
Mac is not here. His wife is,
Oh, is she home tonight?
I think she's coming home, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was something on the back end, like the sander or?
Looks like a spinner and stuff like that, for,
Okay,
but I could tell, spinner and some clevises and,
okay. I haven't looked at them yet, but,
you signed it, didn't you?
what's that?
You signed it, didn't you?
I haven't yet, no.
Oh, I thought you signed it.
Nope. So are we good to move to the listers?
Sure.
We gotta check those over as we go. Okay. Listers. Department of,
Unfortunately, the person from the state, Deanna Rutherford, didn't come. She knew what was happening. I have only one phone number that's her work phone, so I can't call her.
Okay.
But we agreed on the state, and she's the one that can really explain about better than I can. But one thing that the select board needs to think about is that our common level of appraisal is getting closer to the limit that the state allows, which is 85%.
Okay.
Currently, we're at 93.03.
Time out. You gotta come up here, Sue, because nobody there can hear you.
Could you come to the table?
Sorry.
I apologize.
Could you hear me?
Well, no, that's the problem. You can sit in the black chair, please.
Oh, my God.
Thank you.
So the reappraisal has to be done if your common level of appraisal is less than 85%.
Okay.
Now, for this year, 93.03, but we're having another number coming up a little bit later this month. It's gonna be lower than that. And the state hasn't made up its mind about how they're gonna handle the high level of price that people are paying for their, people that are buying property and versus the appraisal value. It's really
Now,
gone up.
Is this the same thing that they just did in Burlington?
Yeah, something
Where
Yeah.
they went through and basically doubled the values of the houses in Burlington?
Well, they hadn't done a reappraisal for like 15 years.
Okay,
Our last one was 2009, which is quite a few years.
right?
And the problem with your common level of appraisal, it directly impacts your education taxes. So the lower it is, the CLA, the higher your taxes are going to be. Now, my understanding, it's cost at least maybe 100 to 150 per parcel. So that's going to be a big chunk of change. And we have some money in the grand list fund, but not enough to cover that. So this is something you're going to have to think about doing and presenting it to the town. But I'm not sure if it should be this year, next year, 2022, or not. But if Deanna was here, she would be able to answer all your questions, because I just can't, because I don't know enough about that, other than I know what can happen.
Right. I know we're taxed at a higher rate on the education tax
Yes.
because of our appraisal percentage. That being said, if they come in and up the value of everybody's property by double, then we're gonna be paying a lot more school tax. It is based per,
Usually when you have a reappraisal, your assessment may go up, but your taxes, the actual rate goes down. So it can vary from parcel to parcel.
okay,
And how much you will be able to do to go inside properties. Because, people don't have to get zoning permits for interior work.
correct.
So, unless you want to put it in zoning. But I don't think
No.
a lot of people would be in favor of that.
Okay.
So I don't
So-
know why she's not here, but.
So we're currently at 93. You're saying that number's probably gonna drop. Are we talking like 1% or 2, still above 90%, or?
I couldn't tell you.
No, sure.
We have to be above 85, I thought
We have
she
to be
said.
above 85. I'm just wondering, per state law, how much time do we have to make this decision? Is it,
Well, the problem is getting a reappraisal company to do it. They're booked up for 2 to 3 years, so I'm not sure exactly how that would work. So yes, we need to do one, but we can't get anybody to do it. Yeah, it's
Yep, yep,
easy.
yep.
So
okay.
that's what I can tell you.
Well, that's,
Doesn't make me happy, but it's been a long time since we've done a reappraisal. And the values have stood up pretty well, but with this surge of people buying property,
They're crazy
personal
amounts.
opinion, I feel like this is the wrong time to have a reappraisal because of the inflated value of property right now. It's,
I think
yeah,
so, too.
it's gonna drop back down and come back to at least what it should be. Maybe then a reappraisal would be an idea,
Right.
but
We don't
when
get a
you've got-
choice,
yeah.
when it gets to it.
well, when it gets to that certain point, but I wonder, how long do we ride out
Yeah.
that wave, you know?
And I asked that question to Deanna, and she said they haven't made any decision yet, whether this is just a bubble or is it permanent. But it's not, you know,
Or is it to see who will bite?
Pardon?
Could be to see who will bite, like Burlington. They took it serious.
Yeah, that really, I read about it.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
I certainly don't want that to happen here.
No.
Ugh, I would have to leave. Couldn't afford my property
Yeah,
taxes.
the taxes are high here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
So, that's all I can tell you. I'm
Okay.
here one of these days.
So will you be reaching back out to her?
Oh, yeah, oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
And, yep.
We'll have to go up and get her to Montgomery and drive her down.
And she's just coming from Montgomery, okay.
Yeah, she wasn't coming
I,
from very
I
far.
was, I was thinking maybe Montpelier or something, I mean.
It could be, it could be.
Yeah.
You know, the way that they have it, like 40 towns they cover.
Okay.
But yeah, she lives in Montgomery, so it's not as far away as previous ones.
Okay.
So it's
Oh.
just something for you to think about, and when we have more information, definitely bring it to your attention.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Enosburg Ambulance Service. Come on up.
Come up in the black
join
chair.
the hot chair here.
He's a director and Selectboard Chambers for support for him there. And we do ask that he goes into executive session as for contract, dollars and cents, confidential.
So
We
the,
should go into executive.
okay. So is it the contract that's voted on by the town? The ambulance service?
Well, it's the town's, Enosburg, Montgomery, Franklin.
Oh, okay, so it's not just us,
First
okay.
year. The
So-
yours is it's a per capita.
Per capita,
not
okay.
your specific town.
All right, so at this
Make a
time,
motion to go into executive session.
you have a second?
I second.
All those in favor of going to executive session to discuss the Enosburg Ambulance Service contract, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 8:04, back in session. Are we live? We're good?
We are recording.
Okay, so at this point, there was no decisions made during executive session, as it was purely an informational executive, and reason for that being, the entity that was here bidding did not want their bid disclosed to the public at this time for competitive reasons. Does that sum it up?
Yep, I would
That's
like Tammy to note that I did not, I abstained.
Okay, hold it.
They did not want their bid made public at this
Correct.
So their competitors wouldn't know their
Number.
number, their proposal.
So if we ask another competitor to come in, we have been asked not to disclose their number.
Why are we just getting this?
What is
Yeah.
it?
Cahill, Gahn, and Miller.
All right, so
Skinner Hill?
next,
Mark
Way
doing
back
this.
in.
Northwest Solid Waste District.
Well, hopefully I give you some good news, or not bad news, or whatever.
Just don't trash us.
It's all indifferent, all indifferent.
What it is I just like to stop in every once in a while and let you know how the solid waste is
Are you
going.
keeping
It's-
track of
We
the
get
notes, John?
about 150 or
Somebody
160
can
people a
keep track
week,
here.
and not everybody comes each
Check
week.
the
So
notes.
there's probably 400 people that use that. And it was interesting, usually they'll fill up, they have totes for compost, and they usually fill up one or two of them each weekend. And the weekend after Thanksgiving, he had two filled up by, I came in at 9:30. It was, everybody was bringing their junk in. But the other thing I wanted to just give a heads up, when they first started back in 1988 or something like that, they had a per capita fee for the town of $1, and they haven't raised it since, so they're gonna raise it 10 cents per capita, so it'll be $1.10. And they'll send all the paperwork at the beginning of the year, whatever, but just wanted to let you know. And, but composting it's fluctuating all the time. Sometimes you can sell stuff, sometimes you can't. They're working really well with the agricultural plastics, tubing for sap and also the bale wrap and stuff like that. So we're keeping as much as we can out of the landfill up in Newport. Because when that fills up, my feeling is those 30-gallon bags, they charge $5 now. They're probably gonna be $20 or something, because I don't know where they're gonna send it to. We're gonna have to do something. There's a few things that are gonna build up on us. We've been saying, yeah, we ought to do that someday. Hot. So that's all I have to say, just to let you know, so that when the information does come through, you'll have a heads up, sorta.
Okay,
There,
perfect.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Road report, we don't have that because no one's here to do the road report.
Road report, okay, so I do have a couple access permits here.
Yeah, I saw it.
I got notification on one of these. Tammy, did you
It's my brother.
hear anything about the access permit for Hennessy Road? The thing I got earlier said that Matt couldn't find the flagging, so it needed to be.
No, you spoke to Scott today.
Yep, I spoke with Scott today. I reminded him that we needed to have clear flagging. And in the conversation that I had with Scott, he said that he would flag that because he wanted us to fix a culvert that we put in 20 years ago. So there's a little longer issue to just the
Who's
permit.
this Scott?
Okay, Mr. Maple.
Oh, him.
Also, I don't think he's aware there's a $140 fee
Okay,
for the application, but
So
once
this-
he flags it and Mac checks it, this permit will not work until he pays a
so this one
$140
is,
bill.
so this is not a complete permit then?
Correct.
So we're not doing anything with this at this time?
Correct.
Okay,
It's not,
table matter.
yeah, it was up
Okay.
for discussion because of the nature of it, and
Well, if
it's
we-
postponed.
So
If
they
we put in
asking
a-
for a new
If we put in a
driveway?
culvert 20 years ago and the culvert has failed, once the culvert is installed, it is technically the responsibility of the town to make sure that it is clear and usable. If,
From an inventory standpoint, I can't tell whether it's across the road or under the road culvert, or if it's a side-by-side culvert.
Mhm.
That's something that I gotta look for, because if there was a logging operation in there, they may have put a culvert in to move vehicles across that.
Okay.
And,
And
if that's the case, it wasn't ours that put it in.
so it wasn't, okay.
So
So it
I-
would be up to, so we need to touch base with Mac and see if that's something that was put in as a road access, or if it was an agricultural access for a temporary
Correct.
access
That's
point.
correct.
Same as the one we had over in East
East
Bakersfield,
Bakersfield with,
that was
the
purchased.
Flanagan's.
It was purchased with an access, but it wasn't a legal access, it was a temporary, agricultural
logging access. I think it was-
Okay, so we'll table that until we can touch base with Mac.
Yep.
Parker Croft, change, of an existing access for residential,
They're putting a house up in there.
okay? So this says change in existing access.
They're probably gonna change the access for his new house. 'Cause I know
Who's
he's,
this?
Parker
Parker
Croft.
Croft, up
Parker
in,
Croft,
way up
I
towards
think
Enosburg Mountain. He's on Bakersfield, but it's,
Yep.
that we've been dealing with electrical, because he's gonna put a new house in, so he's gonna.
Max surveyed this as well, and the existing access is actually his driveway? No,
I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but I've been up there, and this is actually a new
New dwelling's gonna be put up.
access for new dwelling, so.
So it's
Yes, I will change that.
Okay.
That's for residential. That's fine. He paid the fee, I'd like to get that approved so that he can start moving material.
Paid.
It is nearly at grade, where the egress, is. In other words, when you're driving across it, it's a small downslope, but it is consistently running
Down.
away from the road.
So we'll just need to make sure that he has the swale before the town.
I don't think Max
No,
said that'd be
no.
necessary. There's actually a swale.
B71 is basically grade away.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a swale on the property, and about 15 feet into the property, he's got a small ditch, and he's gonna
Okay.
put a culvert in there.
As long as the water doesn't go into the road, they can drain it, slope it away, so it doesn't go on the road, and it should be all right.
Okay.
As B71s.
Okay, so project description is covered on the backside.
Yep.
So there are no restrictions at this point, if you've talked with Mac, and there are none. This is the portion that we sign to give them access, or to give them permission to start construction, and then we get it back when,
Yeah, he has put in a building permit,
okay?
and I'll be reviewing that tomorrow after this permit is
At
legal.
least someone's following the zoning rules.
I appreciate
So this is
that.
to start construction of the driveway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
All fees have been remitted. I don't know if I noted that on there.
It does say it here.
Gotcha.
Why am I blinking?
I'm gonna let you and Devin sign this.
Yeah, because you'll be signing his.
This was an informational letter that came from Mr. Walls, asking, advising me that he had talked to the Department of Environmental Conservation. He talked to somebody in government, and government said that's nothing that they're gonna work with, and that if he lives on a private road, which I've established that he does, it's a private road, that it is nothing that we can be concerned with either.
Where's this now?
Mr. Walls
Penny
on
Lane.
Penny Lane,
Oh, okay.
private road. And
Penny Lane.
Top of the hill
Up the hill,
before
above
Westcoast.
Westcomb's, that little side road, a couple houses up there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Where
yeah,
Kelly,
yeah,
what's his name,
yeah,
there used to
yeah.
live.
he did do a survey, and we've been billing him tax-wise for over 20 acres. It's actually just a little over 10 acres. So he's got that completed. However, this involved changes of a road and a dam and water in a wetland, and the state is aware of it. The state has been out and
Right.
looked at
He
it.
came and visited, and we
Yeah.
recommended that he call the Agency of Natural Resources.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so that's all done to
So it's a
the
private road,
correct.
and we don't have to be involved with it anymore. I hope.
All right, so. Okay, so we have two, did we put an end date on the mower bids?
No,
As
there's
we have
no
now?
end date.
There is no
No.
end date.
But I have been asked by both parties
Okay,
when that's ending.
okay,
How long has it been out for bid? How long has it been out for bid?
it's gotta be almost a
Well,
month
it's gotta be
now.
a month at
I
least.
think we should, yeah, I mean, we
How
can't.
about we set an end date? Can we,
Yeah,
it was only in for 2 weeks, so we will set
So,
an end
my
date.
question is on that, why was that sent out as a bid, not, this is what we want for it?
Mac didn't know what to ask for it. He wasn't sure what it
He
was
couldn't
worth.
value it.
Yeah, he couldn't value it.
Okay.
So
old and
I make a motion,
Everyone that's looked at it seems to think it's in great shape.
that's good.
we get a higher price maybe.
I think the
Well, I
reason,
don't,
the
why
reason
would you do
that,
a higher price against
the reason it
yourself?
wasn't of as much value to us is because we do not have the equipment to operate it.
No, I know.
That's, and what we're hoping is that with whatever is in here, that we could acquire the correct equipment to do
My
the
question, why
job.
we buy a piece of equipment we had nothing to run?
That's a great question.
You know, you buy a piece of equipment that didn't, you
That
couldn't.
was done probably
Yeah, was that 20 years ago?
I was gonna say probably back before I was even legal to vote, so.
That was what, a couple years ago?
Yeah, yeah. So I make a motion that we set the closing date for bids for the side mower
End of December?
for, yes, the first of the year. All bids must be received by the first of the year, and we will open and make a decision at our first meeting of the 2022 year.
So they're gonna mow much right now.
I'll second
I was gonna
that
say,
motion.
there we go. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
John makes the motion that we set a closing date for bids for the side mower to be December 31?
Sure.
December 31.
Brenda, second. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Okay.
It's anonymous.
It's anonymous, yeah, exactly. All right. Well, this one is sent to John Goss. I don't know who that is, but
Do you
I
know
guess
what
I'll
this
open it. It's
is?
close to mine.
Do you know what that is?
Northwest Regional Planning Commission. Let's see what we got.
You're in violation of,
Well, hopefully they sent it to John Goss, not.
No. Other than that, might be ARPA. He was an ARPA contractor.
Only requests, oh, we're already starting to get the requests for monies.
These are, all things that engineering had to be satisfied for ARPA grants.
Okay, we will table this. This is a request from the Northwest Regional Planning Commission for, their yearly monies that they ask for, that we put on the ballot.
So that'll
So-
go in the town meeting folder?
Yeah, this will go in the town meeting
Okay.
folder.
good there.
Question?
I just wanted to make sure that we noted that dispatching is in that.
Correct. Do you want me to write that on there? So this can
Just
be
because-
kept in our folder, but not
Right.
publicized with the, minutes until we receive all the quotes.
This is for the ambulance.
This is for the ambulance, yes.
Just say
So
that,
that's just keeping in your confidential folder.
Right, until we receive all the quotes from any other entities that would like to bid, correct? Correct.
Because I thought we got a bill from them too.
From dispatch?
Do you want?
But that's for the,
Do you want an envelope that you can seal?
that would be,
911
yes.
service.
the dispatch is for fire, right?
That dispatch is for fire and,
Fire and police.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
which they've actually been working with us to get our comms up to what they are now, so. That one, I still do not feel that we are at a position to accept Vera's letter of resignation.
I would say we've discussed it, and
Yes,
she's also amenable to,
What do you mean, she gave a letter?
she did give a letter at the last meeting, and I told her that we would entertain accepting it as soon as she balanced the taxes.
So she finished her
pretty
job?
much.
You can't just quit in the middle of the job.
And with all due respect, I believe our bylaws allows for the hiring of a designated treasurer's assistant,
Correct.
and I had spoken with her about that.
Yes, I just wanted you to write on it what it is, because if I write on it, nobody's gonna,
It's important.
You don't have to look at either, you just use
Yep.
the pull tab.
That may have to be a bid out to do that.
you mean we may have to call,
Well, no, from an assistant standpoint, it's open to beyond the town at that point. The assistant doesn't have to be a member of the town, the treasurer does.
right, I feel like when we discussed that, it's appointed at this position though, at this
I'll look
point,
at that, yeah.
because of the, yeah, basically when the other individual got done, it was appointed. And that's how I thought we had worded it. So that Vera was technically assistant. Review mail. Pigeon issue at Brigham Academy with Linda. Can we unmute?
She's muted herself, just as her revenue.
Oh, okay,
She had called.
There you go.
There she goes.
okay.
Linda?
Yes?
There you go.
We can hear you. We're,
Okay. The reason I bring that up is because a few weeks ago I heard you talking about putting plastic over the windows, and I don't see that that's been done. And I think it was a year ago that Kathy LaVoy had a tour of the academy, and at that time, there were broken windows and there were pigeons living in the building, flying around, and Lance had said, oh, they were gonna get those taken care of, so pigeons wouldn't be in there. Now the population has tripled, and in conversation with an individual in Greensburg who had a similar issue, they ended up having to get hazmat in to clean their building, and that gets costly. So
We already did it once
you
over
can
there.
get those windows fixed so those pigeons aren't in there.
yep,
Sooner the better. I
yep.
know you have some new broken windows. They're easier to see from the outside than they are the inside. But
Dan Forehand did stop by today, just to add to this, and he did a survey, and he said 4x8 sheets of plywood will completely cover those spaces. He didn't have a exact inventory, but he said they would need a proper lift to get to the second story windows to be able to install them. So an exterior lift to do that.
Would it not?
unless they install it from the inside.
Didn't ask him if that was possible, but I will.
He was saying that it wasn't a good idea to do the inside, remember? He said it's better to do it on the outside.
Did
Yeah,
you say
it-
why?
Can't remember.
Yeah, you can still break the windows, but prevent the pigeons from getting in.
Yeah, I think that was the main thing, you'd still break the glass. This way it would protect the glass. if you
Would
had to
protect
put it
any
on the
remaining
outside.
glass
Yeah,
there.
protect the remaining glass.
But he estimated at least 10, maybe as many as 18 sheets of plywood, which won't be cheap and may not be readily available.
It doesn't have to be anything
I wouldn't do
special.
plywood, I'd probably do the other stuff.
Oh, the particle board. It's almost as almost expensive
I was
as
gonna say,
plywood. It's pretty
Particle
cool.
board, if it gets
Oh,
wet,
is it?
Yeah, it falls apart.
And that's why we had discussed at one of the meetings prior of putting
The plastic.
plastic over it, as a barrier, but there again, it doesn't seem to matter what we do, it keeps getting vandalized to the point, so I mean, like Lance said something the other day about putting a new lock on the building, and I said, basically at that point, you're just giving them something to break. I mean, the lock only keeps the honest people out, you know what I mean?
Is it
Well,
kids?
I mean, it serves a purpose for insurance. I don't know what your insurance is on the building, but you do have to show that you've taken
Yeah,
Is it kids or
due diligence.
is it just
I'm not sure we can
Kids.
qualify it as kids, but it's.
teenagers or
it's-
whatever,
Yeah. it's
adolescents or whatever?
Adolescents.
There's some trail cams on that kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, by the time we rent, I'm not saying that, I mean, something obviously needs to be done, yes. But renting a man lift, paying the trucking, plus the plywood, I mean, we're talking another, probably close to another $1,000 just to secure that building.
What does the town put into a budget annually to maintain that building?
0 that I'm aware of.
I don't think there's anything in there this year.
I don't think there's been anything out for that since I've been here. Yeah,
I think 2 years back, there was discussion of putting $5,000 a year, I don't know if it was ever done.
I don't,
And then Kathy LaVoy is asking for a maintenance report.
Who is?
Kathy LaVoy.
Oh, Kathy LaVoy.
I haven't seen that request yet. That's something
Lance had talked about it at one of your meetings.
Okay. I don't remember him talking. Maybe I wasn't here for that one, but
I don't remember it.
I don't remember a request for a maintenance report.
Henry?
Yes, at this point, yeah, we're gonna look into boarding up the windows so that the pigeons are not in there. I did see Lance the other day in passing, and he did mention it again, and it sounds like Dan was over there today looking at it, so it's definitely on the radar. Looks like a nice week where we might not get some snow, so maybe I'll reach out to Mac and see if that's something they can tackle this week.
Okay. Josh, I think you have somebody locally that has a list. I'll send you an email.
Excellent. That would,
You know who else you talked to is Cameron, Jim Cameron.
why am I, this,
He rents that.
Yeah, he has, he owns the lumber store, but he does a lot of work in Enosburg. He did they used it left for the Grange, the Masonic Hall. They used it for the
so it'll reach
hotel.
that third story.
It's a regular
I know
man lift.
somebody
It's
that
a
has
regular
one.
man lift.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's a man lift, but I'm wondering if you're gonna need like one of the heavy duty genie lifts to reach those.
Well, that's what it is. It's just like a genie lift.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the Tammy. Okay. Yeah, if you have people that you can reach out to, please do so, and maybe put them in touch with Mac for that. And yes, Linda, if you would like to send me that email, that would be great also. Thank you.
Get it.
Thank you.
You get the access permit there still
Access permit for which one?
for Parker?
I don't have it.
I know, we gave it to Tammy.
You're a 10.
Okay.
Do you,
Nope, no, thanks.
you just want to make
I
sure it
know
was,
where it is.
okay. Tammy has that.
But you have Scott's.
Correct. Right here. All right. So next, budget discussion. At this point, does the board feel like we should reach out to Amcare for a quote
I would say yes.
as we are up on our contract?
Our current contract is with Amcare?
No, our current contract is with Enosburg Medical Service, or
Thank
Enosburg,
you.
yes. But in being completely transparent, I think we're required to get 3, but I do not think, I'm trying to think of who a third one would be.
Richford.
Cambridge.
Okay. Tammy, can you reach out to Amcare and Missisquoi Valley Rescue and see if they would be willing to create a quote for ambulance services in Bakersfield?
Geez, I hope I don't get hurt and have to wait for Missisquoi.
Yeah, that'd be a long wait.
They're buying a helicopter.
They have a helicopter?
No.
I'm kidding.
And this is how rumors get started.
Yeah.
You know those jet packs.
Maybe one of those.
Thank you, Todd, for
unmanned
that.
helicopters.
Yeah.
Does, I mean, I'm just devil's advocate here, but does Johnson still have one? I mean, Johnson and Missisquoi, we gotta be splitting hairs there.
Cambridge.
Cambridge?
Or Jeffersonville,
Cambridge.
actually.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Todd. Todd's all over this today.
Yeah.
Could you reach out to Cambridge also?
Okay, so Amcare,
Yep.
And
Missisquoi Valley Rescue in Cambridge?
Yep.
Okay. Is it Cambridge or Jeff?
Cambridge.
Cambridge.
Cambridge. It's all the same.
All the same.
Jeffersonville technically isn't a town.
That's right. Jeff is like part of Cambridge, like Moscow's part of Stowe.
Right.
Where are we on the budget discussion?
We are reaching out for budget stuff. For example, the form that I just put in here for the planning commission, that type of stuff. We did ask for,
People's letters have to be in by
yes,
no
so
later than January 1st if you want like all
20
those entities that ask us.
24th is when everything has to be in to go on the ballot, not the ballots, the, warrant.
24th of January?
24th of January, so if you plan on
When do we
running,
meet?
we meet, I would say probably the day before that, or close to the, right before that. If you are interested in running for a position in the town, just know that your letters of intent have to be submitted prior to that with, it would actually be the 24th, Terry. 10th and 24th, January.
So wouldn't they have to be in the meeting before that?
No, they have to be to Kathy.
The morning of the 24th, so we can
Yes.
approve them that night?
But we don't, oh, you're thinking budgetary stuff. I was talking, for example, if somebody was running for select board
Selectmen, you know, get your.
Right.
positions.
Get your,
I'm talking for on the
You're
ballot.
talking on the ballot. We ideally would have our budget built before that, yes, so that they would be finalized at that point.
'Cause last year we missed a few and then they came afterwards.
Correct.
yeah, Cat Crusaders.
So it'd be like to know, it'd be,
Yes. So, yeah, if you know of anybody that's looking for money, that, they usually come in pretty steady here in the next couple meetings. We'll get 4 or 5, so. And if anybody has anything that they want on the budget, start bringing that stuff in too, also.
When are we gonna do the numbers?
That's gonna have to be the next 2 meetings. That being said, I personally am not here the 27th.
Not a good time.
oh, you think just 'cause it's your birthday?
Nope, the 27th of December's.
Oh, December, December.
That's our next meeting.
Gotcha.
So,
Where do you think you're going?
One thing about the people running, Kathy has put on the website, a list of all open positions that will be
Vacant
running.
positions.
And there's also, you know, under open positions, there's also the handbook of town officers that describes the different job
Okay.
descriptions.
Can she be
And
heard?
There's the local candidate.
Yeah, you're not talking
petition.
to the mic, I don't think.
There's the local candidate petition that's on there that you have to fill out, and there's also the consent form to be placed on the ballot. So they're all right there under that open position thing, anybody who's interested,
Perfect,
head right there.
perfect. Thank you, Tammy.
So do we want to change that date?
That's what I'm throwing out there.
When are you gonna be?
I will
Back
be
around.
back the 20, well, I won't be back and useful until the 30th. Well, I mean, we're coming home the 29th, but it's 6 to 8 hour drive, so I will not be sitting in a meeting after sitting in a car.
Pussy.
So 7:30, that's tight. Midnight mass.
No, it's the 31st.
That'd
I
be,
know.
Silly.
But that's a Thursday.
I would motion to move the meeting due to the holiday proximity and the lack of chairman.
Is there anybody else that's not gonna be here that day?
I may not be there, that'll push me.
Okay, all right.
That'll let me
Can we
stay, it'll let
just-
me stay in Syracuse.
do we
for
have to have a second meeting? Or can we just go to our next meeting? And have one meeting?
I don't think that's enough time to work on the budget stuff that we need to do, to be honest with you. Unless we would count on,
Special meeting for
yeah,
budgets.
I guess we could do that too.
And that might be a better bet, because by the time we get to budget, after everybody's been here.
So, why don't we stick with that then? Well, so the 27th, somebody's gonna have to come in anyway to sign warrants.
That's me.
Three people have to be on the warrants.
Yep.
These, so I will not be here. So if you want to literally just have a meeting where you come in, we've done that in years past, around the Christmas time, and just had a meeting where you come in, sign the warrant, and that's the entire meeting. Or you don't
Well,
even have to have a meeting, you can just have to come in and sign the
Or else
warrants.
just have the meeting and we can table the budget stuff.
Or you can talk about it. I'm perfectly fine with that. I mean, you're not gonna make any life or death decisions, it's just ideas and throwing stuff out there. Lance in the past has had, a 3-year breakdown of what it is. I think if we could get the spreadsheets that Vera has built us this year, that would give us a pretty good start as to where we should be.
So maybe that night we just gather information.
It's entirely up to you.
And, because we gotta look at, we aren't gonna be able to make decisions at a meeting until you've looked over
Correct.
what's there for information anyway.
So
So
it
we
may
could
be a
get
good-
the information gathered that night, and then
And then
we're
make,
gonna have to set up extra nights anyways.
yep. So maybe, and
I
if
just
we,
can't do a Tuesday, second or fourth Tuesday, because I got budget meetings for Enosburg too, so I got,
so that would be the 11th and 25th in January. So, I mean, and Terry, you said you work every other Monday? So the Mondays you're not here, you're working,
Right.
correct?
So what's Gary's, what Tuesday nights?
it's same as our, every first and, second and fourth
Second and
Tuesday.
fourth.
Second and
So
fourth.
the day after these, so that would be we would have a meeting the 10th and the 24th of January, and then Denton would be unavailable the 11th and 25th.
So we could do 4th and 18th.
We,
Tuesdays, 4th
we
and 18th.
could do the 4th and the 18th for budgetary meetings. Which would give us technically the 4th, the 10th, the 18th, and the 24th. Bang, bang, bang. So, Tammy, correct me if I'm wrong, the budget part is the first meeting in February, correct? So if there was stuff that needed to be adjusted, we could adjust it that first week in February.
I'm not sure.
I think it's just the petitions that have to be in by the 24th.
24th,
Correct. I think,
and anything that's going on the ballot.
right.
Would your budget be going on the ballot?
Well, no.
No, not this
No,
year.
we can't. So it would be the ability to go to Australian ballot
Right,
by Australian ballot.
right.
So I think that actually gives us an extra, so that gives us 4 meetings to build the budget, revise, submit
Oh, because this year the budget will be voted on the floor, right?
from the floor, yep.
And I do have to confirm that the school will be available to us.
Lance was supposed to reach out to that. I sent all of you a private message explaining why Lance isn't here, and
Yeah.
I'm hoping that he'll be able to join us for the next meeting. Because, well, let's face it, he's been here longer than the rest of us, and he kind of knows how some of this stuff works.
Yep.
All right, so does that jive with everybody? Everybody's good there? So we will be,
You'll send the dates out
yeah, it's basically, it's the,
every month.
it goes Tuesday, no, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Monday.
So it's the 4th, the 10th, the 18th, and the 24th.
4, 10, 18, 20.
You need Maria?
Yes. Actually, if Maria could definitely be here for the 27th, so that these 4 can, or 3, depending on who shows up, can throw the information that they need at her, so she can have all that ready for the 4th.
So we're sticking with the 27th,
Well,
and
so.
we're just gonna come in and,
So
basically
here's
do
the
the-
only hitch on that. I am definitely gone. Brenda is possibly gone, correct? Or are you definite?
Possibly gone.
Possibly. So that would mean that you would need to definitely,
we'll have to play it by ear.
right. So
If we don't have a quorum, then-
so worst case scenario, can I throw this out there? If the 27th doesn't work, if we cannot form a quorum for the 27th, the 30th at 6,
What's the 30th?
it's just that Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
But I think they're still gonna need signatures on the warrants that Monday.
Right, and they'll need to be, it needs to be warned, so we need to decide beforehand.
How many days does it have to be warned?
I think 3, yeah, I think 3 too.
I'm not gonna be here on the 30th,
Okay.
but I'd be here on the 27th, I can get a warning out.
So can we warn a meeting and cancel it?
We just did?
We will consider the 30th also warned, the 27th and 30th. If they meet on,
Cancel a warning meeting?
Sure, if we,
No. The last meeting that we didn't have a quorum, we canceled it, and that same night you
That was
made.
because we didn't have a quorum.
right, but
what
that's
I'm
the only
that'd be
reason
the
we'd meet the
same
30th.
Here.
Right.
I'm out.
Did you want to cancel the 30th?
No,
No, we don't even wanna warn it yet.
what we're saying is if we cannot get a quorum for the 27th, we want to warn a meeting for the 30th, right?
Yeah.
So like if something happens and Terry
We'll have
says,
to
I'm
wheel
not gonna be able
Lance
to
in."
make it,
Yeah,
if one person calls in, basically the meeting is off and we're
Right.
rescheduled for the 30th.
Okay. So we're gonna warn the 27th.
Yep.
You may know before I even warn the 27th.
We might, and you know, it may be, you get to that point and you're like, I'm still worked out from Christmas or whatever holidays, like, may not want to meet on the 27th, I'm not sure, but. Brigham resident update, apparently we have some new residents, they're the
Just keep
pigeons.
ARPA, just for the hell of it?
Yeah, just for fun, you're just gonna tell me nothing's changed?
No, I got-
Oh,
I got
dang,
it.
okay.
we actually have a decision to make through a questionnaire. I already know that we will participate in this. But I'm sorry, I'm mixing metaphors here, never mind.
Sorry.
I'm passing.
You're
Nope.
talking about Brigham residents or ARPA?
No,
ARPA,
I take back what I said. Nothing's changed, although we are gaining interest in the
This
account.
is for ARPA?
yes,
Nothing's changed. on the
Nothing's
page.
Yeah,
changed.
we're gaining interest, it appears. We have more money in the bank now than when we started.
woo-hoo,
Who knew?
who knew? So I was right, nothing to report?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
I was
just-
thinking about Northwest Fiber Works.
That's not on here today.
I know it's not. It's okay.
So Brigham residents update, we just got that a couple minutes ago, apparently we have some more pigeons.
Yep.
Other than that, no new Brigham residents. No, Lance has got some information on that he will have to bring to the next
Going
meeting,
with them, the pellet gun to shoot some pigeons.
possibility. Outside audit, has anybody gotten quotes on that? Cause that will be a budget item that needs to go on the docket, on the
For what?
outside audit. The one that's supposed to happen
Oh,
every
yeah.
3 years, 5 years,
The big one.
the big one.
Yeah, the big one.
Tammy, have you been able to reach out to any firms?
I wasn't given that assignment.
Okay,
The only one I reached out to couldn't,
okay.
and the other one I haven't got an answer from.
Okay.
But I'll try them again
So,
tomorrow.
do we have names of firms that we could give Tammy to reach out to for outside audits? We know the one that Jason works for, it's
That's the
Peisch,
one-
AM
that
Peisch
one
cannot do it.
They can't do it.
They can't do it because of Jason being an auditor here.
Can you reach out to
There
Cattell,
was
Brannigan,
KBS.
Sergeant,
KBS,
KBS?
Cattell, Brennigan, Sergeant.
There's KBS.
KBS, Cattell.
There is
Brennigan,
also the one in
Sergeant,
Enosburg, Parent.
Where's that one?
St. Albans.
I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, I apologize.
Who's that?
What's the name
Parent.
again, Gary?
What's that?
Well,
They're in
what's
the
her
old,
name?
they're in the old telecommunications building there on Main Street.
Well, Bobby Young.
Yep, yeah, so that would be, what is the name of that one now? Is this just Young's Accounting Service?
How far back do you want the audit?
From the last one that got completed.
What's that?
Which was what?
I don't know. That we'll have to do some research on.
15, 20 years ago,
That's a long time ago.
no?
Yeah.
How long ago was it, Carrie? I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, it was, but is that when they audit from?
Now, when was the last time we've been audited?
What year was it? 2000 and, I can't remember. It's in that drawer, though.
So Young's Accounting in Enosburg, yep,
What is it?
Young's,
It is just Young's.
yep.
So Cattell, Brannigan, and Sargent in St. Albans, Young's Accounting in Enosburg.
Parent, Quash and Gagnon. That's One of the parent boys from Sheldon.
As in like Johnny Parent then?
Nope.
No.
The other one's Dean, and I believe this is Chad's wife.
Oh,
I'll give you that because it's, I don't know, like the middle.
Lindsay?
Yes. They took over the old telephone building
Oh, I
right
didn't
there.
realize
Yep.
that.
And if anybody has any others, Todd was helpful on the chat there. If anybody has any accounting companies that we're overlooking or just not coming up with, if you want to throw them in the chat where we could reach out to them to do, or at least submit a quote for the outside audit, would be greatly appreciated.
Commercials, I used them 1 year for my taxes.
The Angelina's in Cambridge, but they just make pizzas. And chicken wings, right?
And Tutelios, I said they sell guns and gas.
Yeah, that's. Gotta love it. All right. Future agenda, I think we've pretty much set that. Any others from the crowd?
It's ANGELONI apostrophe S Accounting Services. They're down on Shelburne.
Is that like a,
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Nash-
ANGOLANO. That's how you spell it. Angeloni and Company. They do commercials.
okay.
Down on Shelburne Road.
Wow, if they can afford commercials, they're charging too much.
Okay, so phone number's 985-8992. It's in the 802.
8992?
802-985-8992.
So they give free quotes.
Angelanos,
How far
yeah.
back do you want this thing to go? I need to know that.
I think it has to go back to the previous one. The previous,
So we need to find out when the previous one.
but it's basically just an audit of the internal audits, correct?
I don't know.
I'm not sure how they work those. I'm not an accountant. Anybody have any information?
Let's use the next meeting as a deadline to give you the information. 27th, we should have information for you.
So
Or
I won't be here.
30th.
Okay.
Is protocol for them to submit the, quote by mail or email? Or what is, how do we usually receive things like that?
Mail, email, I think either one would be sufficient.
Okay.
They're probably gonna have more questions than we have answers, to be honest with you.
That's what I'm trying to anticipate.
So
what they're
possibly,
asking.
possibly reach out to Jason first and see what, what the external,
What's Jason's number?
Terry?
Oh, boy. I had it. Let me see.
Asking for recommendations and what questions? I mean, he's gotta do one more audit for us. To close the year out, correct?
Correct, in January.
355 1629.
Is that a cell?
Yes. It must be, he would know how long.
How long it's been? He might not, yeah.
He
might.
would know how far back they should go.
Well, how far back it should go.
Right, a typical audit, outside audit, how far back it should go.
Any others? Seeing none, I would entertain motions.
Motion to adjourn?
Wait. We have a road issue.
Okay. Motion denied.
So
Thank you.
I've gotten like 4 phone calls from Kings Hill and a few videos. But
Okay.
speaking with the guys, I went down there on, what snowstorm was. They feel they can't do that now.
Why?
What? Say
Who did
again?
that come
They
from?
feel
Did
they
that
can't
come
do
from
what?
All three.
all three?
Okay,
So we need to revisit,
3 residents feel they can't.
No,
no.
we have a resident on Kings Hill Road filing complaints. And when it was brought to the town crew, they do not feel that they can, is it a safety issue? What was their,
Well, I
what was their?
thought one of them already went up and did it.
Well, that's, he said yeah, I didn't end up going up to check, but he said he was gonna take the small truck and go up and sand and plow the berm out of the way.
Right, and it sounded like that happened, but then
Great.
the next snowstorm, they went right back to the same.
Now, is it that they can't do it with the big trucks? Or is it that they can't, because I know when I spoke with Markey, he
That's
said.
one of the videos I got.
Okay. When I spoke with Markey, he said that that wasn't his road. Here, you can watch that. That wasn't his road. And, he was like, I'll gladly go up and take care of it. He said, but that's.
This is where they're supposed
But, it wasn't necessarily the road that he's supposed to be on. He said that he has his route, which, you know, makes sense. And, you know, that's just, it's taken away, it's not really taken away, but it's adding to his route, which I don't know.
Well, I don't know, I think Danny said he does it first thing in the morning,
Okay.
cause he said he didn't wanna be end up stuck up there. So I don't know if it's the first road they do, maybe?
Makes sense. I mean, turn out of the yard, head up that road.
Right, cause he said if he gets stuck up there, then it
Yep.
pretty much shuts everything down. But also, there's supposed to be a logger going up there soon, I think is what he was
I
saying
know it was
too.
mentioned about logging, but I didn't know when it was gonna happen.
They logged it last year.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, both of them did. There was 2 logging companies up there last year.
Oh, so they're not going back up there then?
Well, that's not necessarily true.
Oh,
They could, I don't know what's on their schedule or who's
Should
scheduled
probably wait
to
for
do
things
it.
to freeze up anyway.
Oh, absolutely,
I
yeah.
can't remember who he said, well, he's on there. He dropped?
It was what, it was Landvest, wasn't it?
Katie is Dan.
Katie is Danny.
Is it Landvest that was up there?
Was, Landvest owns the property, yeah. But I don't, I do and I don't know who they have logging for.
On Kings Road?
Kings
Hill.
Hill Road.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Cause the thing is, we went up there, and that's what I told Mac and them. Then we need to revisit if we're not, cause we went up there and already told these people that we would take care of it.
the problem was we went up there,
And now we're telling
In
them,
the-
now we're not, it's the second year in a row that we keep getting all the complaints and all the phone calls every day, every time it snows, because we're not taking care of it. So I think we need to revisit it for sure
yep,
and get everybody on the same page. Max said something about, that last year, I think he said Chris plowed it and they
Sand
offered to sand it.
so what is it
So I
that,
don't know if that's what,
what is it that he's concerned with getting stuck in there? Is he
Turning
concerned
around?
about the
Turning
turnaround?
around
Is
or-
he concerned about,
Backing down or?
is it that? Is it not wanting to chain up? I don't know what the concern is. That's is the rig too big and the small truck needs to do it?
yeah,
Or just
under
Dan?
Katie Florian.
It's the unknown. you know.
Right,
I
right.
didn't get to talk with them. I don't know. I'm not sure what their concerns are. So I don't believe Dan is at Linda's, but
Huh?
I sent it to Linda.
Yeah, it's hard set, it must have been like a crash. Normally said,
So I'm not sure. So it may be another meeting with the
Right.
select board, Mac, and the driver of that road.
says he's here.
Okay,
Another site meeting or just here?
another site meeting. Can he unmute and just give us like an update as to what the troubles are?
Cause the old lady on the board can't remember.
You hear us, Dan?
Yes. I
So-
can't remember what you told me, Danny.
What I was telling Terry the other day, that's my first road I found in the morning. I turn around at George's and do my regular route. Because if I go down in the hole and get stuck, I can't get nothing else done.
Right.
When I get back, I usually go up. We've been doing it till all this week. It's been plowed and sanded, every time we have to go out this last week.
Okay. Now, Dan, what is the trouble? Is there not sufficient room for turning around? Is it just,
Yeah, it's very tight, and I have to dig around, and if we get a lot of snow, I just don't want to get caught down there at 4 o'clock in the morning and not be able to get ahead of the buses.
yep, I can agree with
Once
that.
I do Kings Hill, I head over to Egypt, and I head to Lost Nation.
Okay.
So when I get back,
So that's his first
it
road.
takes me 3 hours. When I get back, you shoot down there and get that cleaned up.
Okay. So if we tell them, Dan, so how, it takes you 3 hours, you said? And you start around
Yeah, when-
4?
yeah.
Okay. So if we were to
So when I
say,
get back- When we get back off on a regular route, then I go back up and hit that little stretch.
so is it safe to say that could be cleaned up by 8 o'clock?
Well, depends on the day, you know.
Yeah, but on a normal, on your normal
Yeah.
run?
It should be.
Okay. Because what we're gonna do is, we're gonna give the people that are calling, we're gonna give them that information that on a normal day, you know, if we don't get a severe dumping of snow, that we should have that area cleaned up by 8 o'clock. And, you and I both know that if we tell them that and it doesn't happen, they're gonna reach back out to us.
Right, and I wouldn't guarantee them a time. I never know what we're gonna run into for problems.
Yep, yep,
Just say, they'll be done when I get back off the route. Could have to be 9 o'clock, you know.
okay. So,
Biggest issue I got, I just don't wanna get hung up down there first thing in the morning.
right,
Because it is a tight turnaround, and, if there's a lot of snow, there's no place to put it, you know what I mean?
yep. Do we have that flagged out, Dan, with reflectors and stuff, so you can see that in good shape?
Well, I have to pull up the road back into the trailer and turn around and put in, and I have to dig around about 5 times to get turned around.
Okay, okay,
And as far as backing up to the poles, I can't do it. I tried it this week 2 or 3 times, and I just can't back up there.
now where's that one? You talking below the trailer?
No, above.
No, above the trailer.
Oh, above
He's
the,
backing up he's backing up the hill.
Cause before, remember they said, well, once Danny gets moved around, that was the other thing I forgot about, Dan. Once he got moved around, we'd be able to back up. Well, he can't.
you can't back up around that corner, okay. So how far up do you push right now, Dan? Just to the corner?
Yep,
Okay,
yep, and I turn around and back up as far as I can, go spin out, and I head back down the hill.
okay, all right.
And it's only a matter of about 30, 40 feet that I'm not getting.
Okay. All right. Can you reach out to them, Terry, and
Yeah.
see how last week went? Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
It's just hard for us to understand unless we're either talking to you or up there seeing it for ourselves, so we appreciate that.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay.
remember when I first moved into my place, I think on a weekend, they got out till noon.
Okay. And that, you'll reach out and see how that's
Yep.
going, and we'll go from there.
I mean, they gotta realize that they're just one resident.
Yes, yep,
Two.
I agree.
Are you ready?
I believe
Yeah.
we are.
You ready?
I
Yep.
should have asked because if they offered, if they want to plow it, but they want us, well, he still can't get that far. Okay, never
He
mind.
still can't, he can't sand it.
Right,
I mean,
Right.
he's in the same boat either way.
I mean, they gotta realize they're on a really narrow road, and we're doing the best we can. It's, they're one resident out of the whole town, and they're not priority.
Well, the only problem is it is technically a class 3.
I know it is, but I'm
and
just
they
saying-
could- They could push that.
Oh, yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
we're gonna plow them, but it's not gonna be,
Yeah, yep, no,
I'm not saying not plow them, we can't, there's one resident, we still have to make sure he's not stuck.
Motion to adjourn?
I second that.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Later, Gators.
Have a good one.